Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe True and Love, here with another AEW Dynamite review, but this time we are here for Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts last night was a great. I mean, it was a one-match show. Really wasn't the fallout of Forbidden Door, but in the sense and being Blood and Guts, just a fantastic, crazy match. You know, last year, we had Blood and Guts. We didn't have the energy from the live audience. We didn't have that extra thrill of the match. And last night, what we got between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society was a crazy, just violent war between two cages, and it ultimately delivered. And before I get into the review, I must say, what a first few days in AEW it has been for Claudio Castagnoli. I mean, he comes in on Forbidden Door, makes his not really a surprise, but a surprise. His debut for Zack Sabre Jr. had a hell of a match on Forbidden Door, got the victory there. Comes to be the replacement for Bryan Danielson in the Blood and Guts match last night, and he gets the winning decision. Tapping out Matt Menard on top of the steel cage, Blood and Guts cage, and oh man, it seems like may just be me, but I would not be shocked if we get. I mean, the blood is there, the animosity is there between Claudio and Eddie Kingston. So, I could definitely see their next move being that. But nonetheless, for a guy who was sorely misused in WWE, only his first. He hasn't been with the company for less than a week. Or for a week. And he's already beaten Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. Went through this crazy Blood and Guts match last night. It hasn't been a week and he's already treated like one of the top deals of AEW. Though he did have a good exchange with Jake Hager last night, formerly of the Real Americans and WWE. So that was good, a little nostalgia feel. But yeah, it was just a hell of a night last night. But thank you for joining me If you're new to the podcast again, click the subscription down in the corner. Subscribe. See more of the videos on the channel. And along with Dynamite, Rampage, and I posted my Forbidden Door review on Monday. So you can find that as well, where I covered the whole Forbidden Door card. First AEW pay-per-view I actually got to order and watch. So that was great to see. But no, thank you all for being here, join me, and let's get started with the review, shall we? Now, actually, before I get into the review, there's one little tidbit as well. So, it was announced on Dynamite last night that on Rampage tomorrow night, there will be a Royal Rampage. Meaning, there will be a 20-man Battle Royal tomorrow night to determine who will be the first one to challenge Jon Moxley for the interim AEW World Title. Now, how did they... I mean, I'm sure the ranking system is a little messed up now with a world champion and an interim champion in the rankings. But this could be a good thing and it could also not be a good thing. The reason being is there is so much injury going on right now that 20 guys a Battle Royal to determine. I mean, the Casino Battle Royal that they did a couple weeks ago to determine who would face Jon Moxley to go to Forbidden Door, they kind of messed that up. So, plus with the injuries, I mean, I hope they don't mess this up. Just, we'll see, but if AEW actually puts top guys in this, then okay. And the other thing is, it's on Rampage, so, I mean, Rampage is already in a bad spot, so I mean, it's gotta change, whether it's another hour or a different time, different day. It's a little bit of a weird spot to have a 20-man Battle Royal to determine who will face Mox for an interim title match. Plus, I mean, CM Punk is still the world champion, so it's... I mean, I get it, you're interim champion, but it's kind of odd to me. But we'll see how it goes, and Hopefully Tony Khan handles this Battle Royal much better than he did the Casino Battle Royal a couple weeks ago. But now let's get into the review, shall we? After that bit of an intro. So, of course it was pretty much a one-match show last night, although big from Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. But other than that, not really much. Although I will say that Death Before Dishonor, Ring of Honor will be back. Will be back. July 23rd will be Ring of Honor pay-per-view since Supercard of Honor. Death Before Dishonor will happen July 23rd. Ring of Honor pay-per-view. So, good stuff there. AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts. Start off with Orange Cassidy, who now has a new theme song. There are rumors going around that he may debut a new theme song at Forbidden Door. It didn't happen, but it did last night, as he took on Ethan Page. What was a pretty decent match. Orange Cassidy coming off perhaps the match of the year versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door, coming to last night. A solid outing versus Ethan Page. So, the best friends, who, by the way, it's good to see Chuck Taylor back on TV. He hasn't been in quite a while. Not sure why. But him and Trent Barrera were on Dynamite wearing these strange sunglasses with tie-dye outfits. It was unique for the Orange Cassidy entrance. Ethan Page, he came out with Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert had Brett and Taylor both ejected. It appeared Lambert had some orange juice because, of course, Orange Cassidy. But getting into the match, so a little bit of back and forth, but Page with a big boot sent Page or Cassidy to the outside. Lambert, he kind of mocked Orange Cassidy while he was laying on the outside. Back in the ring, back from break. Page hit a twisting brainbuster for near fall. Then good feat of strength by Page after Orange Cassidy. Now, Page is not a small guy, but Cassidy had some issues trying to lift him for a body slam. So, once after, Page hit a press power slam. Good feat of strength for near fall. So, Orange Cassidy was distracted by Dan Lambert. and he was pretty much poking fun at Dan Lambert with Orange Cassidy antics. So Orange Cassidy hit an orange punch on Ethan Page after he took a sip of the orange juice Dan Lambert had. He spewed in the face Dan Lambert, hit another orange punch on Page. Finally hit a power slam 1, 2, 3, and Orange Cassidy gets dubbed with a new theme. I think it's kind of was foreseen. I mean, good week as well for Orange Cassidy, coming off that big match on Sunday, then last night. Christian Cage. This was the second best moment of the night. Definitely. Christian Cage. So it was announced he requested a match. And he came out in street clothes. He was asked about his comments from last week on Jungle Boy. So he said management asked him to make an apology for his comments last week. Did not happen. So Christian Cage said, I apologize, Jungle Boy, that all of your family isn't dead. Quote Christian Cage, except for your mother. I mean, ay. So, said some other things, and he noted that he is not dressed to compete. They did request a match, but not for himself. And then we hear this interesting theme music. Interesting. And then all of a sudden we see Pyro. And we see Luchasaurus. But it's not the old happy, fun dinosaur. Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus wearing all black. All black. Coming out to this ominous theme. Has sided with Christian Cage. And he has now turned heel. So he came down to the ring, faced off against Serpentico. And Serpentico wanted nothing of it. Absolutely nothing of it. So, no surprise, Luchasaurus hit a tombstone press slam on Serpentico. Walked in his version of the snare trap, but with a nerve hold to nerve in the back and neck. So Serpentico tapped very quickly, Afterwards, Christian Cage knows Luchasaurus wasn't done. So Luchasaurus chokeslammed Serpentico on ringside, and there was that. So Luchasaurus is now a monster sided with Christian Cage. And, Jungle Boy is out with a shoulder injury. It was reported the other day. So it's a little bit of weird timing, but they can use it as also the effects of Conchero, So Luchasaurus is heel as Chris Cage monster, and it's just whoa. Did not expect that. Wardlow and Scorpio Sky. They are backstage. Interview face to face. Wardlow said that Sky can send any member of American Top Team out, treat them like security guards. And Sky noted that Wardlow, if he's so skilled and tough, that he'll face him next week for TNT title in a street fight. So, interesting match made there. Wardlow for Scorpio Sky in a street fight. I don't see Scorpio Sky in a street fight walking out with the TNT title. I don't. So, we'll see, but I think we're going to have a new TNT champion next week. Max Caster and the Gun Club, who are basically tired of Danhausen, challenge him to a trios match with any partners of his choosing. Excuse me. Danhausen came out and said, well, he's found some guys that are pretty good at wrestling. FTR are the partners of Danhausen. Decent match here, because they gave the whole second hour to Blood and Guts. So the matches, no surprise, were kind of decent, but also cut down a bit. So Dax got a big tag after beatdown Danhausen. He and Cash hit serial German suplexes. Cash had died to the outside. Danhausen got a big tag. Got some offense in. Finally, Anthony Bowens, who has been in a wheelchair for weeks, who came out in a wheelchair. He came in the ring, walking with his crutch, looking to drill Danhausen in the face. No avail. He knocked out Gun. Danhausen on top with the pin for 1, 2, 3. Danhausen and FTR get the victory. And good. Okay, stuff here. Okay. Danhausen is over. FTR. One set of titles are eluding FTR. One set of titles. The AEW World Tag Team titles. The Young Bucks have them. We'll see. Because we're going to get FTR vs. Young Bucks Part 3. Jade Cargill vs. Leila Gray. Open challenge for TBS Championship. Jade Cargill it's also getting disappointing as well, I must say. The reason being is because, the booking of the whole women's division has not been great. And we can see with Thunder Rosa, with Jade Cargill, the champions of the women's division, it's not working. Or it's not. They need something else. And these open challenges are not helping anyone, really. So, excuse me. But at least for Thunder Rosa, they're giving her great matches. At Double or Nothing, at Forbidden Door, but this match was pretty punt kick by Cargill. She had Jade for the win. Afterwards, Chris Statlander and Athena came out for the attack on the baddies and Jade Cargill. Ultimately, Chris Statlander should be the one to take that towel off Jade. And Stokely Hathaway pretty much whispered in Leila Gray's ear, this is your shot to be a baddie. And Athena was going for the Eclipse. Leila stopped her and helped with the attack on the two. Tried to align herself with the baddies, but Jade's skeptical. Basically, I'm getting a little skeptical of the booking of the women and Jade, but we'll see where this leads. Because I don't know how it's going to be with whether it's Athena, whether it's Chris. I don't know. Young Bucks, they were backstage, took a loss on Forbidden Door to Sting, Shingo, and Darby Allin, but they were backstage pretty much all alone. Because Bobby Fish is hurt, Kyle O'Reilly's hurt, Adam Cole, in that fatal four for the IWGP Heavyweight title on Sunday, he suffered another injury as well, so he's hurt. They also know that some other guy, not Brandon Cutler, is filming for them. So they know how they still have another friend still left. Another friend. So, but they know who. They know the tag team titles. So you know that even though Sunday finished, the Furman door is still creaked open a little bit. So it'll be them versus Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi in a tag team match on Rampage. So interesting stuff there. But Kenny Omega is still in his rehab. But there's one cowboy that is still together in AEW. Could we see a reunion of the Bucks and the Hangman? We'll see. Main event, Blackpool Combat Club. First Jericho Appreciation Society, Blood and Guts. This match, crazy and insane. I'll try to go over as much as I can, but I mean, it's hard to put into words all of it, but so the JS won the man advantage on Sunday in that trios match over Eddie Kingston, Will Yuta, and Shota Umino. So Claudio and Sammy Guevara sort out. I mean, Claudio thrown into the fire already, starting the match and getting the decision. Crazy. So Sammy was doing his best to try to avoid Claudio using his agility. Has 2 rings. They were exchanging, and Sammy hit big reverse cutter, getting separation. Daniel Garcia was the first guy to come in from both sides. So he tried to make it advance towards JS, but to no avail. Claudio fought him off as much as he could. Will Yuto was in, and it's strange. Will Yuta, I'm still trying to get more used to him. I mean, it's just when I look at him, but he's getting more over and thrown to the fire, and you like to see. So then Jake Hager, which sparked some We the People chants in Detroit. He and Claudio got an exchange. Good nostalgia feel. Jon Moxley, the new interim AEW champion, was in there next, threw a chair in Hager's face. Ran rough shot. Busted open Daniel Garcia with a fork. Garcia even spat out blood. Angelo Parker, he tried to creep in, but all his allies were down. So Hager used the chair that was thrown in his face, used it on the ankle of Claudio, tried to press it against Claudio's face. Ortiz then was next, and he had this, like, I would say strange kind of purple paint on his head. It was kind of strange, but may it work for Blood and Guts. So then Matt Menard came in next. Angelo Parker, during the break, So Moxley got some broken glass. And hit a pile driver on Parker on this glass, which busted him open. There was a great shot in this matchup. Parker, brutal spot, showing his set, talked about in a sec. So Mox then was busted open by Menard. Santana came in next with barbed wire bat. Parker and Utah were exchanging in the ring. Parker actually bounced Utah's head off the camera from the camera guy that was filming in the ring. And then Matt Menard. Feel bad for Jon Moxley came with the tools. Jon Moxley had like some skewers, some chopsticks. He just skewered Matt Menard's head, and that busted up open. I mean, crazy stuff. Chris Jericho then was left. The last guy, the JS. Sammy a fine cutter on Claudio. Get the advantage back for JS. Kingston was last and got the full. I mean, he went full, pretty much Darth Vader mode with the kendo stick. He was just walking gingerly past everyone, knocking them down with the kendo stick like he didn't care. whacking everyone with candlestick. Finally, him and Jericho were pinned against the door, and he just whacked Jericho with his candlestick, knocking him down. And now the match is official because all competitors are in. So, Doomsday Device by Mox and Yuta. Hager was thrown to a table in the middle of the two rings. Matt was actually suplexed into some tacks by Moxley. The ring was exposed. I'm not sure who did. There was a great shot. Pearl spot. So, Angel Parker and someone else. I don't remember who. But Angel Parker, who is already a bloody mess. Of course, there's scaffold structures holding the two cages opposite and near the ring. Parker was hanging upside down with his leg caught in one of the structures, and it was just brutal looking spot. Yeah. So back to the match. Okay, so there were more attacks up in the second ring. So Moxley, he was dragged in the attacks by Chris Jericho as Jericho was about to apply the walls of Jericho. And Moxley is literally right there next to attacks, and it was just brutal looking good spot. Kingston somehow saved Moxley, picking up some of the attacks and throwing them in the face of Jericho, forcing him to release the hold. Fire extinguisher was then used by Jericho. Ty Conti looked like she knocked out one of the referees. I'm not sure if it was Aubrey Edwards or someone, but she tried to interfere in the match. Looked to be trying to unlock the door. But Ruby Soho, who before the match in a promo documented her friendship with both Kingston and Jon Moxley, she came down for the save, attacked Ty Conti, and rushed her off to the back, so both ladies were taken care of. So now one of the doors was open. So Jericho made his way to the top. Kingston saw him, chased him up. Kingston hit Jericho with the back fist and looked like he was going to throw him off the top. And there was like a thing of tables underneath. So there was that. And Kingston was about to throw Jericho through his tables. Luckily for Jericho, Sammy Guevara got a nick of time, stopped Eddie Kingston. Spot of the freaking match. Sammy Guevara was thrown off the top of his cage, through these tables, down below, and Kingston with a sinister smirk and a laugh at knowing what he did, just grew much better than the throw to Jericho off last year's cage, but yeah. So Claudio made his way up as good spot. So Jericho had the walls applied on Eddie on top of the cage, but Claudio, talk about crazy, saved Eddie Kingston from tapping out. So another great spot of the match. Claudio, he had the big swing. Not as big as you think, but I mean, they're on top of the cage, so had a mini big swing to Jericho on the top. It was crazy. Top of his cage. Matt Menard came in for the save on Jericho, but it did not really help. A. Kingston locked in the stretch pump on Jericho, which made Jericho tap out of Revolution. Claudio had the sharpshooter applied to Matt Menard, both on top of the cage. Matt Menard tapped out, Jericho did, and Blackpool Combat Club got the win. And Kingston thought he tapped out Jericho, and he was conflicted. Even though they won the match, Claudio got the decision, not Kingston. So eventually the rest joined in on the top of the structure, celebrate their victory, and what a hell of a match. What a hell of a match. I mean, can't put into words, just violent, crazy. I don't get the skeptics really when it comes to the match. I just don't. It's just stupid, but right team won, and great to see. But, and again, what a less than a week for Claudio. I mean, great to see, but nonetheless, thank you for joining me on podcast today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and a thumbs up. How about the video? But nonetheless, thank you all. See you all on Saturday for Rampage. But thank you all. Be safe. I'm Angel 2 and Love. See you Saturday. Peace.